Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Another week, unfortunately, still in lockdown, but here we are talking about coffee. You would have thought I'll be talking to you guys about coffee and the importance of coffee, distinguishing whether it's a good or a bad thing. Well, we'll talk about it today. I want to cover a few benefits, I want to cover a few issues with coffee in general. Now, I just want to clarify that if you're a coffee lover, chances are whatever I say tonight, it's not going to make any difference. But I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everyone is tuning in. I'll switch on the comments now. So I would like you to get involved, ask questions. We're here to help each other out. And I'm here to bring you value about what's healthy, what's not, what are the myths, and how you can perform better in life. Whether it's to do with better nutrition, whether it's to do with improving your sleep quality, getting more energy. And I love talking about health hacks. So we can probably talk about a couple of those tonight. And if you stay until the end, I want to share with you something that massively shocked me when it came to coffee, caffeine, and my personal health, because it definitely changed my mind about coffee. I hope you guys my new haircut. Hope you like it. It was done homemade by Abby, who is my other half, and I finally gave in and I said, let's try and cut my hair, and it looks pretty good, I thought, if I can say so myself. But forgetting about my hair, hi Mags, we've got people joining. Let's talk about coffee. So coffee is probably one of the world's most popular beverages, if not the most popular. And like I said, if you're a coffee lover, chances are I'm not going to change your mind about coffee, but I'm just here to give you the facts, and I'm here to give you my personal opinion and experience and show you some of the research that has been done, because coffee and caffeine it's probably one of the beverages that is being studied so much, because not only it seems to have some health benefits to people like me and you, but also it's used quite often in sporting performance and things like that. So yeah, we've got more people joining. Awesome to see everyone. How is everyone doing, by the way? Because it's been, I don't know, weekends are not weekends anymore. So every day is kind of the same, but make sure you guys have some purpose to what you do. If you're someone who is not going to work, write some things down that you want to achieve, things that you've been putting to the side for a long time. And let's talk about it. So coffee, number one, I'm gonna get comfortable. Number one health benefit that we find coffee has, potentially has, is to improve your energy levels. For me, energy is Mags, I'm okay. I'm doing really well, by the way. Thank you. Energy is probably one of the most important things when you consider performance and when you consider just being physically active and also mentally on point. Now, for those of you who have businesses or have really responsible jobs, or for those of you who, just a mom trying to stay energetic and keep the kids entertained, energy is key. It's a really important thing in life. And coffee can definitely help you feel less tired and increase your energy levels. That's proven over and over again. It has, I've got Martin joining as well. Hey guys. It has obviously a substance that we call caffeine, which is probably the most commonly consumed psychoactive substance in the world. And basically what happens when you drink a cup of coffee, the caffeine enters your bloodstream, that goes into your brain, and caffeine blocks what we call the inhibitory neurotransmitters. One of them especially is adenosine. And to you, that might not mean much, but basically if you have adenosine that is blocked because that suppresses your the excitement of your nerves, then you get high levels of dopamine proportionally, which means that you're buzzing. I'm sure you've had this kind of feeling of caffeine override. It basically means that your neurons in your brain and your nervous system are firing quicker, hence it's used for an energy stimulant. And I think that's a very well researched area, so we can definitely conclude that caffeine in coffee can improve your energy levels and reduce your tiredness levels. But there's loads of things that there will be a few buts if you stay until the end. So I definitely want to cover as much as I can without just saying coffee is amazing or coffee is really bad for you. We always need to consider two sides of the story, because health is not simple. It's annoyingly complex, but hopefully we can debunk some of the myths. The second cool principle when it comes to caffeine in coffee is that it's proven over and over again to actually burn fat which is pretty cool. So because caffeine is found in most commercial supplements and energy drinks and things like that, which you have to be really cautious of, by the way, because of the sugar and other chemicals they contain, it's actually proven that caffeine itself is one of the most natural proven substance to burn fat, which if you're looking to burn fat and you're doing it in a safe way, coffee is probably a good shout. I found several studies that one of them in particular showed that caffeine increases your metabolic rate, which is basically the amount of how quickly your metabolism works. And we know that increases with things like caffeine and decreases with things like age. But anyways, caffeine was proven to boost your metabolic rate by 3 to 11%. Just huge, like more than 10% increase in your metabolic rate from just drinking some coffee. But there's always a but. So please, please, please wait until I finish with these, because I want to discuss a few things when we're trying to get the most out of a health principle, whether it's drinking coffee, whether it's eating brown rice, whether it's avoiding milk, and so on and so forth. Another thing about coffee is this. If you think of coffee, it's actually a bean. So actually it has many nutrients. The beans in themselves have many nutrients that can actually find your body once the coffee's been brewed and it's been processed. Yes, the amount of healthy nutrients by the time you drink the coffee will be reduced, but you still get things like vitamin Bs. So in 1 cup of coffee, you get about 11% of your daily recommended intake of vitamin B2, which is not that much. But if you think about it, it can add up quite quickly, especially if you drink 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day. You get magnesium, you get some potassium as well in there, you get some manganese. So it's full of nutrients that are really healthy for us. But there's a but. This is like a big suspension here that I'm trying to sort of leave until the end. The next thing that I think coffee is cool for, and this one is the one that shocked me the most personally, is that it's proven to help people who are depressed, which is mad. No one would link coffee and caffeine to depression. Mag says it tastes nice too. That's probably the number one benefit for those who actually enjoy drinking coffee. It just tastes amazing. But I've got my personal story to share with you in a minute, which massively shocked me. So yeah, obviously we know depression is a really serious disorder. I'm by all means not an expert in this field, but I found some cool studies from Harvard. That one of them was following women back in 2011, and those women who drank 4 cups or more of coffee showed 20% lower risk of becoming depressed. I might have to say that again. So out of those women who were drinking 4 cups or more of coffee per day, which I thought it was a massive amount of coffee, but that's what the studies are showing, they proved to show that there is 20% less chance of them becoming depressed. I have no idea how they measured these things. Again, a lot of these studies are observational studies, which means more research probably has to be done. But it's pretty cool to know that actually that can help some people. And there was another study which followed more than 200,000 people. 200,000 people, and it showed that those who drank 4 cups or more a day, again, 4 or more cups, seems to be like the magic number, were 53% less likely to die from suicide. And I never ever did I ever think that I would be talking about depression and these issues and talking about coffee on the same podcast or same webinar. But like I said, I love looking at two ends of the spectrum, the two sides of the same coin. Probably the biggest benefit of coffee, and this is the one you guys were probably expecting me to say first, is that it's a massive antioxidant. So it contains loads and loads of chemicals which are good for us because they fight something called free radicals and oxidative stress. And that basically means that if you have a lot of free radicals in the body and a lot of oxidative stress, it can damage your cells quicker. It can even increase the level of aging or the rate of aging. So caffeine seems to provide some amazing health benefits. However, this is why I wanted you guys to pay attention. We like to do this thing where something is natural and is good for us and it's healthy, and we try to completely it up. So again, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear in here, but we screw up so many things that are meant to be good for us. So who can give me an example of why wouldn't coffee be healthy? Because we've gone from 1, 2, 3, we've gone from 5 different health benefits of caffeine in coffee. But who can think of one example that us as human beings made coffee unhealthy or potentially harmful for us? Just think of your normal cup of coffee that you would have a day, especially in the UK and the States. Anyone? Because I can tell you loads. So number 1 is sugar. We tend to put sugar in our coffee, right? So yes, you might get some of the benefits that we've just described in terms of Andrew Harvey says stimulant, sleep, perfect. Now, it's good to know that there are some benefits to coffee, but it's not black and white. When do we drink the coffee? How much do we drink? Laura is saying, how much sugar do you add? And how much milk do you add? Exactly. Now, we know that there's proteins in our milk that are not necessarily good for us. In fact, they're inflammatory to your body, which means they make you more swollen, more achy, more uncomfortable. And people like Mags and Harvey are saying it affects your sleep. So if you're not getting good quality sleep and your caffeine affects your quality sleep, do you think the benefits of coffee will actually outweigh the benefits of you getting good quality sleep? I don't think so. So we've got sugar, we've got milk that we added. Another thing that we don't consider sometimes is the quality of your coffee. I used to just buy, when we lived in a different part of Essex, I used to just go to Tesco's and buy the cheapest coffee, like instant coffee. Now I am a big believer in organic coffee. I'm a massive believer in organic coffee because I understand the process of how coffee beans are stored before they get to Europe, before they get to the States, before they come to England. They've got these massive ship containers. They have massive warehouses where mold is one of the biggest what we call mycotoxins. So a toxin that can harm your body. You know how bad it is to live in a moldy environment if your room has got a leak. So the same thing for coffee beans. So make sure if you do love your coffee, do yourself a favor and get yourself some good quality beans. That's probably number 1. And the final thing I wanted to share with you guys, I've not done this before, so I was going to see if I can share my screen with you. Let's see if we can do that. Can we do that? Because, and you guys have to tell me if it's worked or not. Let's have a little look. We'll share the entire screen. I wanted to show you something. Okay, I think you guys will be able to see now. Awesome. So, about 4 years ago, probably, I managed to do some DNA testing. And I did that myself. I interviewed a really, really cool guy who said, look, have you thought about your DNA? And I was like, what do you mean? I just like coffee. I love to drink coffee. And I did. I used to love drinking 3, 4, 5 cups a day. And what happened was I started getting these headaches and I started to feel really tired. And actually, I started to get migraines. And I didn't really link it to coffee and caffeine. But anyways, so this guy did DNA testing on me. And basically, it showed me what is the DNA structure that I have compared to the food I eat. So what foods should I consume based on the fact that I can or cannot tolerate coffee, based on the fact that I have different genes compared to you guys. So we're all individual. So it's good to talk about coffee and then its health benefits. And it's good to talk about that coffee has some negative effects if you drink it with sugar and milk and it's not good quality. But check this out. I hope you guys can see. I can't see you at the minute, but I hope you can. So on this table, you'll see loads of different things. But I just want you to concentrate on the top left column, which says iron overload, lactose intolerance, caffeine sensitivity. And then you'll see some bunch of interesting numbers here. C, Y, P, 1, A, 2, and so on. And then you'll see 3 different circles. This shows you if they're blue and if there's 3 of them, it shows you that you have a specific gene which might be really, really sensitive to that thing which is here. Bitter taste, alcohol metabolism. And if you see my caffeine sensitivity, I am maxed up. I have this gene called CC gene, which means that basically my body cannot metabolize caffeine very well. it can metabolize alcohol very well, which is a shame to me. So I don't get bad hangovers. But if you look at this particular gene, so on the bottom here it says caffeine sensitivity. Individuals with the CC genotype, which is basically the type of gene, are associated with reduced ability to metabolize caffeine. So I have to be really, really, really careful on, we'll go back to normal screen. I have to be really, really careful the amount of caffeine I drink. So since then, very rarely I'll drink a cup of coffee which is actually caffeinated. I've switched to decaf. Yes, I love the taste of coffee. Yes, I loved the buzz I used to get from it. But for me now, it's become a massive something needs to give. And for me, if it affected my sleep and if it affected my level of headaches and aches and pains I used to get, it just wasn't worth it. So I hope you found this helpful. Now, if you have any questions about caffeine, you can always direct message me on Facebook, or you can go onto my website. I have a really cool topic coming out tomorrow, but that will be on the podcast. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet and you like these videos, we call it the Better Brain Podcast. You can find it on iTunes, you can find it on Spotify, you can find it on Google Podcast. It's everywhere now. Actually, I might just put the link here. But yeah, that's where I share my bigger messages when I have more time and I can go into more detail. If you like these videos, give me a thumbs up, guys. Laura, thank you so much. You found it interesting. I hope some people did too. Patrick is asking, does the quality of your beans make a difference to the quality you have? 100%, Pat. This is what I was saying. I used